Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Home sweet home. Last night, an explosive D-backs offense lit up the Marlins with a 5-run second inning on the way to an 8-0 lead and a 9-1 win. Tonight, El Nino blows into Phoenix. It's newcomer Vidal Nuno on the mound in his Diamondbacks debut. It's All-Star Week here on Fox Sports Arizona. Tonight, the D-backs face the Miami Marlins in the second game of a 3-game series. It's one more look at the league's home run and RBI leader, Giancarlo Stanton. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume and Bob Brenly along the way. Game 2 of 3 against the Miami Marlins. And tonight, the Diamondbacks debut of Vidal Nuno. Bob, the 10th different starting pitcher the Diamondbacks have used this year.
Really been amazing, the streak of injuries that the Diamondbacks have had to endure, especially to that starting rotation. You think back to spring training, and you felt pretty good about the rotation, the way it stacked up with Patrick Corbin, followed by Trevor Cahill, Wade Miley, Brandon McCarthy, and Bronson Arroyo. But then the rotation roulette started. Corbin was out, Delgado in. That lasted for a little while. Delgado was ineffective, so Josh Colmenter moves in from the bullpen to take his spot in the rotation. Trevor Cahill was ineffective, went to the minor leagues. Chase Anderson comes up to fill a spot in that rotation. Bronson Arroyo, the most recent, not the most recent, but one of the guys to go down. Mike Bolsinger takes his spot in the rotation. And then, of course, tonight with Brandon McCarthy being traded, you've got a spot to fill. So Vidal Nuno, the latest lefty to fill in that rotation for the Diamondbacks. Ever-changing rotation.
Their 10th different starting pitcher this year, Vidal Nuno. El Nuno on the mound tonight for the Diamondbacks. Take the power back. An offensive explosion last night. Who's in the lineup tonight? Brad will let us know when we come back. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by CenturyLink, your link to what's next, and by Jack in the Box. If the D-backs hit a home run today, score a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink.
And welcome back to Chase Field, getting set for Game 2 between the D-backs and the Marlins. D-backs put 9 runs on the board last night as they took the series opener. Tonight looking for more of the same. You know, Marlins manager Mike Redmond hoping that his offense finds some life out here in the desert. Time for our starting lineups, brought to you by Tire Pros. Once again, in the leadoff spot for the Marlins, it's Christian Yelich. Ed Lucas gets the start at second tonight instead of Solano. Giancarlo Stanton in the 3 spot, trying to shake off that 4 strikeout night. Then it's McGee in the cleanup spot. Baker, Saltalamacchia, Hechavarria, and Hand as well. For Kirk Gibson, Ender Inciarte batting leadoff. Then it's Hill, Goldie. Prado had the home run last night, hitting 4th. Cody Ross gets the start. So does Tuffy instead of Miguel Montero. Then it's Nick Ahmed at shortstop. And getting the start at pitcher and batting ninth. So that's the D-backs lineup, brought to you by Tire Pros. When we come back, it's first pitch. The D-back debut of Vidal Nuno, acquired from the Yankees in that Brandon McCarthy trade. Bob and Steve have the call next on Fox Sports Arizona.
On Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Cox Communications. Bundle and save with Cox. Back home, sweet home. Chase Field, downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, Brad Steinke along the way. The Marlins and Diamondbacks, second of a 3-game series. Roof and panels closed here. The D-backs have won 6 of their last 7 against the Marlins here at Chase Field, and looking to get some runs for their newest pitcher, Vidal Nuno, the 10th different starting pitcher the Diamondbacks have used this season, 1 more than in each of the previous 2 seasons. He's a left-hander acquired from the Yankees Sunday for Brandon McCarthy, his bullpen coach back when he was with the Yankees a few years ago. Mike Harkey now is pitching coach with the Diamondbacks. Here is Harkey on the new D-backs left-hander.
He throws strikes. He's got enough stuff to be able to get enough outs, and that's basically kind of what we're going to go from. I mean, I only saw him last year as a reliever, and I liked him a lot. So, you know, he had been a starter, so I always knew that he had the stuff to start.
El Nino sweeps into Phoenix, Bob Brennan.
He's a 4-pitch guy. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. We've documented he's not overpowering. His average fastball in the high 80s. Maybe occasionally will touch 90 miles per hour. You see his numbers with the Yankees this season. If there's a reason for concern, it's the fact that he ranks 3rd in the majors in home runs allowed per 9 innings. And in this ballpark, if you don't keep the ball down, a lot of those fly balls end up on the wrong side of the wall. So hopefully Vidal Nuno will be able to keep the ball down and on the corners of the strike zone tonight against the Marlins.
As you just saw, not a hard thrower, a soft tossing lefty type. Ball 1 to Christian Yelich, and we're underway. Yelich back at the leadoff spot, the left fielder for the Marlins at 271 on the year. Sky high, right center field. Inciarte, Parra coming in. Ender Inciarte has it. First out of the ball game. These are the Diamondbacks defensively behind their left-hander.
You see Cody Ross out in left field with the start against the left-hander tonight. Ender Inciarte in center. Gerardo Parra over in right field. It'll be Prado and Ahmed on the left side of the infield tonight. Aaron Hill, Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Tuffy Gosewich getting a start behind the plate for lefty Vidal Nuno.
So we'll another look at Nick Ahmed at shortstop tonight. Ed Lucas, the second baseman. .248 and a home run. He got into last night's ball game as part of a late double switch and went 0 for 1. So that snapped a 7-game hit streak for the Dartmouth College grad.
We touched on it in the open of the show, the fact that the Diamondbacks have used 10 different starting pitchers this year. They'll get no sympathy from that first base dugout because the Marlins have also used 10 starting pitchers this year. The Rockies pacing the way as they do almost every year. They've used 13 different starters.
High and deep to center field, but room for Inciarte. 2 down. Couple of fly ball outs for Vidal Nuno, and here comes Giancarlo Stanton.
Right fielder number 27, Giancarlo Stanton.
Stanton, the National League's home run and RBI leader. Although he's just 3 RBIs ahead of Paul Goldschmidt for the league lead in that category. Ball 1.
Where Chase Anderson did a tremendous job last night with a variety of off-speed deliveries to Giancarlo Stanton, set up by some well-commanded fastballs. 4 punch-outs.
1-1. Yeah, Stanton 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts. And as you can see, he is a handful. Just 1 point ahead of Goldie for second in the league in OPS.
Now, the category that really jumps out at me and most baseball people, the walks. Ranks 3rd in the National League, something I don't think a lot of people felt Giancarlo Stanton was ever going to get a grip on. The plate discipline, strike zone discipline, but along with that has come the higher offensive numbers. He is a scary hitter.
There's the strike. It's full 3-2. He punishes left-hand pitchers, so Nuno has to be careful here. Look at this. Stanton hitting lefties at a 380 clip. Here's the 3-2. 2-out walk. And it's in this way that Casey McGee, who comes up now, has benefited from hitting behind Giancarlo Stanton. McGee has become one of baseball's hottest hitters. 6 weeks ago, he was hitting 281. Since then, he's hit better than 370. And he's raised that average for the season by more than 40 points. He's now 4th in the league in hitting.
And he's made teams pay when they've walked Giancarlo Stanton intentionally 11 times this year. Casey McGee's 4 for 8. He's walked twice and hit a sacrifice fly after the intentional walk to Stanton.
Casey McGee, a pair of singles and a run scored last night, riding that career high 14-game hitting streak, hitting .390 during his streak. He's also hit safely in 20 straight road games. And he laces that one to center, but right to Ender Inciarte. And Nuno strands the 2-out walk. We are underway at Chase Field. The D-backs and Marlins on Fox Sports Arizona. Home half of the first set to get underway, and on the mound for the Marlins, 24-year-old left-hander Brad Hand. Diamondbacks hitting coach Turner Ward.
He's a fastball pitcher, a guy who likes to run and use his sink and run to be effective. So, you know, for us is really just trying to just get on the heater, just stay on the fastball and look for it up in the zone.
And coming off an ankle injury and getting another chance to win a starter spot in what has been a revolving door of auditions for Miami. Ender Inciarte looks at ball one. We're underway. Bob Davidson, the crew chief, is our plate umpire tonight.
Yeah, looking at some of the metrics for Hand, he's fairly predictable. He throws that fastball, as you heard Turner Ward say, throws a lot of fastballs when he's behind in the count, and once he does get ahead in the count, he'll go to that curveball, mixing an occasional straight changeup.
Just his fourth start all year. So they spend most of the time in the bullpen, been in and out of the Miami rotation all season long, mostly out. His last appearance was Thursday. That was a start against the Phillies in Marlins Park, and Hand went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs on 7 hits, and struck out 5. And that was his first start since April 14th. He had made 12 relief appearances between starts and pitched to an ERA at nearly 6.5. 1-2 to Inciarte is lifted the other way into short left field. Yelich is there. What a way.
Yeah, while we have a moment, let's take a look at our Valley Honda dealer keys to the game. And I've been thinking about this, Mr. Hand. If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time, Mr. Hand?
Having some pizza and learning about England.
Yeah, big outing tonight for Vidal Nuno. El Nuno blowing through Chase Field tonight. Hopefully settle that rotation down a little bit.
Hopefully it's a favorable wind. Aaron Hill, 239 and 6 homers. I didn't know you were a Fast Times at Ridgemont High kind of guy.
That's a classic. Kidding me?
Aaron Hill scuffling right now, 3 for his last 31.
Although there was a glaring error in that movie when he talked about playing Led Zeppelin 4 to impress your girl.
Yeah.
They played the song Kashmir, which was off of Physical Graffiti. Glaring error.
Going deep, deep, deep. The Dream Police. Da-da-da. Aaron Hill getting a chance against a struggling left-hander tonight. Try and get healthy up there at the plate. There's been a power outage as of late. But he strikes out in his first at-bat tonight. 2 down. This is the defense behind Mr. Hand.
Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton left to right across the outfield tonight. Casey McGee and Adeiny Echeverria on the left side of the infield. Ed Lucas and Jeff Baker on the right side tonight. Jared Saltalamacchia doing the catching for the left-hander Brad Hand.
Well, you've got Goldie and Giancarlo Stanton dueling offensively. Casey McGee in there as well, one of the 5 finalists for that National League All-Star vote. Paul Goldschmidt looks at ball one from Brad Hand. Goldie 313 and 16 homers. Seventh in the National League in hitting, second in the league in RBIs behind Stanton, and third in OPS. (3-0). Goldie on base 3 times last night. A walk, a single, and a double. Drove in a run and scored twice, hitting almost 400 against left-hand pitching this year. And just like Giancarlo Stanton, Goldschmidt draws a 2-out walk.
Third baseman, number 14, Martin Prado.
Martin Prado, a home run in his first at bat last night. This was his 4th of the year. Off Tom Kohler. That ignited the D-backs offense. It opened the scoring, led to a 9-1 Diamondback win.
Well, and you hope that cracks the seal on a new offensive resurgence for Martin Prado. It's been a long time since we've seen him hit a ball hard to his pull field like he did last night.
His home run last night was his 91st hit this year, but just his 21st extra base hit. The slugging percentage is down more than 50 points from last season. Jared Saltalamacchia would like a word. 2-0. A walk to Goldie. Now he's fallen behind on Prado. 2-0.
Yeah, for Goldie, that was his 34th walk since May 29th. He's just not getting anything to hit. When he does, he puts a charge on it. Kind of surprising when you see a team attack Goldie, but he just hasn't had many opportunities to do damage.
He has reached base safely now in 29 straight games. Prado's hit in 7 straight. The 2-0. Laced into center for a base hit. Goldie will head for third. It gets behind Ozuna out there, and Prado sneaks into second. A 390 feet from the Marlins center fielder.
Ozuna looked shaky at best in center field last night. Misplayed a couple of balls that were hit close to the wall in left center field, and then just clanks this one. Picked up his head too soon to see where Goldie was and didn't come up with the baseball, allowing both Goldie and Prado to move into scoring position.
A single for Prado, an error on the center field of Marcell Ozuna, so it's second and third, 2 outs for Cody Ross. A chance to strike early. Bounced to short, a Danny Echeverria. And Hand strands 2. We are through 1 at Chase Field. No score, D-backs and Marlins. Fox Sports Arizona Fan Express, presented by Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores, wants to take you to a D-backs game. Just stop by this month's participating Cox Solution Store in Casa Grande. You can enter to win 2 seats on the Fan Express to a D-backs game on August 10th. We'll see you then. For more information, visit foxsportsarizona.com. Marcell Ozuna leads off the second against Vidal Nuno. Marcell Ozuna, 276 and 14 homers. A pair of singles last night to go along with a pair of strikeouts. This is a guy that's got a 13-game hitting streak, batting .360 during his streak. 23-year-old outfielder, and definitely part of the future for the Marlins. That's a foul ball. This is a guy, BB, that always has kind of reminded me of Vlad Guerrero. The swing and the kind of way they stand, and they're both wild swingers, off balance. They'll take these. We saw Ozuna fall down a couple of times last night when he swung and missed.
Well, if Ozuna can have the kind of career that Vladimir Guerrero did, the Marlins would be very happy with that. Boy, Guerrero, he was one of those, you didn't go to the restroom when Vlad Guerrero was scheduled to hit in the inning, because you definitely wanted to see what happened, whether it was a spectacular homer or a spectacular strikeout.
And Ozuna will take some wild, spectacular swings. Sometimes he connects, sometimes he misses, like we saw last night. 2-2 now. But this is a guy that Mike Redmond says brings an awful lot of energy and youthful exuberance to the big leagues. I got a lot of guys like that on this team, and more coming. 2-2 from Vidal Nuno. Very high in the air, left center field. Ender Inciarte. That's 4 fly ball out so far for Vidal Nuno.
First baseman number 10, Jeff Baker.
Long stride into the ball, really rolls on the outside of that left foot as he starts to bat through the hitting zone. Got that one on the barrel, but got underneath it, popped it high in the air to Inciarte in center.
The veteran Jeff Baker getting the start at first base. Garrett Jones will sit against the lefty. Spots the fastball down and away at 90 miles an hour. 0-1 to Baker. 240 and a couple of home runs. And as usual, playing everywhere, a member of the Marlins goon squad, right by Brett Butler at third. Gets played by Doc Rosenblatt.
Pretty good numbers for Baker as a pinch hitter for the Marlins. 8 for 24 this year with 6 runs driven in. He's one of those guys that you view as a nice piece on a good team because he can play multiple positions. He usually hits lefties really well.
He's played first base, second base, third base. His 13th start of the season at first this year. Garrett Jones sits out, and a good example of how if you can hit and play multiple positions defensively, you can hang around the big leagues for a while. And Baker can hit, laces that one down the left field line. It's in the corner. Cody Ross picks it up out of there, and Baker has his 6th double. First hit tonight against Vidal Nuno.
Catcher number 39.
The breaking ball just didn't quite get to the spot. Caught too much of the plate. Jeff Baker spanks it out there into the left field corner for the first hit of the game for the Marlins.
The switch hitting catcher, Jared Saltalamacchia. The right hand side is his weaker side. Although there's not a ton of difference average wise. Yanks that one foul. 229 on the year, 9 homers. He has only homered twice as a right-hand hitter this year. He was 0 for 3 with a walk last night, struck out twice. Nuno ahead 0-2.
Nuno went to Baker University in Baldwin City, Kansas. Another notable Major League Baseball alum, Zip Zabel.
The Zipper.
The Zipper pitched for the Cubs back in 1913, 14, and 15. 66 total games, 25 starts.
Baker University and NAIA school in Baldwin City, Kansas. He was a 48th round pick by the Indians in the 09 draft.
Zip Zabel. What a name.
Was Zip Zabel any good? Did we look that up?
Well, he pitched in 66 games over 3 seasons, 25 starts. That's all I know. We can look him up, I guess.
The Zipper.
The Zipper.
2-2.
He took one that time. That right shoulder fortunately has that extension out there to cover that throwing arm.
Called strike 3, first strikeout in a D-backs uniform for Vidal Nuno. 2 down in the second.
A little cut on that fastball at 90 miles per hour. Saltalamacchia saw it off the plate away, but that late movement brought it back into the zone for a called strike 3.
Shortstop Danny Echeverria, 268 on the year. Hitless last night. Just foul by Perry Hill at first. Cindy Bonacontri pounces on that one. Our Golden Glover down the right field line. There's Cindy. She was on the last road trip. Echeverria drove in the Marlins' only run last night with a sacrifice fly. Although he could have had a much better night, he blistered a pair of line drives that were both caught for outs.
Yeah, first 2 times up, lined out to third, lined out to second.
Rolled to third. Martin Prado. Vidal Nuno strands the 1-out double and keeps the game scoreless as we head to the home half of the second at Chase Field. Baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. Ray's Tamales here at Chase Field. This is a must stop at the ballpark. Ray Cota has been a security guard here for a long time. He's got a tamale business, and these things are a hot item. They got green, they got red, they got chicken. And it's right over there behind the left field foul pole here at Chase Field. It is a must stop on your culinary experience here at the ballpark.
Absolutely.
Tuffy Gozawish leads off the bottom of the second against Brad Hand. High chopper right in the hole. McGee in front of Echeverria, and Gozawish beats it out. Baker may have come off the bag right there. John Tumpain, the first base umpire, says it's a base hit.
They got that good trampoline bounce off of home plate. McGee cuts in front of Echeverria to make the play, and Baker at least came off the bag initially. Not sure if he had the ball in his glove at any point when the foot was on the base.
Mike Redmond is out there having a discussion right now with John Tumpain. Here's a pretty good look at it.
Boy, that is close.
Did Tuffy get his foot down first, or was it Baker? They rule out an error right now. E5 on the throw. It is not a base hit.
Rob Leary, the bench coach, with the wave of the hat, which usually indicates we want to challenge the play.
So they will risk their challenge in the bottom of the second inning. So Bob Davidson, the crew chief, working the plate, is over there with the umpire involved in the call. In this case, Jonathan Payne at first base, and the Marlins challenge is underway. Is this worth risking your challenge? Scoreless second inning. Leadoff single, bottom third of the order coming up.
I think it depends on how confident their video coordinator is that they'll get this call reversed. Kind of tough to tell from that angle whether Baker's toe came back down on the base or was he just short of it, and then eventually his foot did come down on the bag. But we're going to get a lot of different looks at this back in New York before we finally determine whether Tuffy was safe or whether the challenge will be upheld.
Now remember, it's not a 50-50 proposition. The call on the field is important. In this case, it was the runner safe at first. So you have to find clear and convincing evidence that the call on the field was incorrect. And these challenges are being overturned at about a 50% clip this year. It looks like this one has been decided. He is safe at first, says Bob Davidson. So the Marlins win the challenge and retain the challenge. Oh, nope, pardon me, they lose the challenge. So that is an error on Casey McGee, and Tuffy is aboard at first. Call stands, which means there was no clear and convincing evidence. So that's the second Miami error tonight. Leadoff man aboard. And here's Gerardo Parra. Strike one to Parra, 255 and 5 homers. A pair of hits last night, a single and a double. He scored twice. That was a big night for Parra, coming off that 3-for-28 road trip. Center field, Marcell Ozuna. One away in the second. That's a silly challenge to me. Leadoff guy in the second inning. You got the bottom three of the order behind him. There was no absolute lockdown angle at that said, yes, you got to challenge this. It was close every time we looked at it. That goes back to that discussion we've had before about knowing when to use that challenge, and now Mike Redmond has lost it.
And it also gets back to the confidence, as I mentioned, that you have in your video coordinator. Well, that guy's just as important as any coach on the staff this year.
Nick Ahmed, the shortstop. Strike one. Yeah, that has become a prime position, that's for sure. Nick Ahmed 2 for 14, pair of singles so far in the big leagues. This will drift into the seats behind the Marlins dugout.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
0-2.
I got to fess up. I took advantage of the Papa John's last night when I got home. A little hungry after the ball game, watching all those extra base hits and Diamondbacks runners going around the bases, getting on the plate. Worked up an appetite.
Got to take advantage.
Absolutely.
I would think that'd be a regular thing for you, especially after a home game. Swing by on the way home.
It's online. You got to order online
right before you get out of here. Listen to Snake Talk and then drive over to Papa John's. That is over the mound behind the bag, and they can't get the force on Gozawish. Marlins infield took a couple of shots at that one, but just couldn't quite corral it, and the Diamondbacks have 2 on with 1 out.
Well, that's the danger of that glove-to-glove flip without getting the bare hand on the ball. Sometimes you'll make the highlight reel because of a tremendous play, but occasionally the ball doesn't come out when you want it to. Oh, Lucas just kind of laid an egg right there at the feet of Adeiny Hechavarria, not able to get an out anywhere on that play.
So here is Vidal Nuno, his first ever plate appearance at any level in professional baseball. Minors, majors, anywhere. They ruled out a base hit for Nick Ahmed. And he gets the bunt down. Saltalamacchia has 1 play. Vidal Nuno moves the runners along. Tell you what, for his first ever plate appearance, that was a pretty good bunt.
Sure was. This National League stuff's easy. You just square around, bunt it, and play. Probably not the most fundamental bunting form you'd like to see, but very effective nonetheless. Saltalamacchia only has the play at first base. 2 runners in scoring position for the top of the order.
And that would be Ender Inciarte. Gozawish is the runner at third, and Ahmed at second. Ender flied out his first time up. He did not go. It's Bill Welke down there at third. So it's 1-0 on Inciarte, who had 2 more hits last night and scored 2 more runs from the leadoff spot. 13 starts as the leadoff man, a .293 average. Diamondbacks second and third, 2 outs in the first, could not get a run home. And they won't do it here either. Hechavarria, that one right at him. And they strand 2, no score through 2 here at Chase Field.
Last year in my career, I could gut through it with anti-inflammatories and some different things, and it'd be tough. But you know, if I want to play after this year, it's just going to be impossible. So I'm gonna have to get it cut on and hopefully just have a turnaround and make you know, April, May, June, July. Sometime you come back next year and hopefully your arm is as strong as you wanted it to be when you're 25.
The game, just to update you on his situation, yesterday informing us he had to have Tommy John surgery. He told us today he's actually going to stay local to have that procedure done. Team doctors Michael Lee and Don Sheridan will perform that surgery early next week. And he said one of the decisions, not only was it staying in-house, but they do the procedure a little bit differently than some other surgeons in that they attach that new ligament directly to the bone. He says that, in his mind, provides more stability. And for a guy like that relies on a mid-80s fastball, he says that is key. So he'll have that done early next week by Dr. Lee and Dr. Sheridan, and hopefully be back in a year and change from now, guys.
Red hand bounces that over the mound. Nick Ahmed scoops it up and throws it out, one away.
Yeah, the worst possible thing, I think, Bob, would be for it to end this way for Bronson Arroyo. I know that's the last thing he wants.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been such a trooper over the course of his career. You know, he's taken the ball many times when he was well less than 100%, but felt he owed it to his teammates and his fans to go out there and give an effort. And just a shame to see it happen to Bronson here in Arizona. But you see him talking to Nate Shaw, the strength and conditioning coach for the Diamondbacks, right there, probably already getting set for what they call prehab. You start to do the exercises ahead of time before the surgery, so that when you come out of the surgery, you're ready to jump right into your rehabilitation program.
And he will have it done locally, which is something different too. Oftentimes it's, well, he's going to go down to Pensacola and talk to Dr. Andrews, but not Bronson Arroyo. Christian Yelich fouls that into the seats near the D-backs dugout. Prado will give it a look, but it's out of play. Yelich flying out to center his first time. So far, Vidal Nuno in his Diamondback debut. A walk, a hit, and a strikeout. Turns 27 years old later this month. His last start was Wednesday against the Rays at Yankee Stadium. Gave up 3 earned runs on 8 hits in 5 innings. Got the loss. He pitched very well in his start previous to that. 5 innings of 2-hit ball against the Red Sox. Nuno 17 appearances with the Yankees this year. 14 of those starts. 2-5 with a 5.42 ERA. That one missed at its full, 3-2. Yankees rotation was hammered by injuries this year. CC Sabathia, Ivan Nova, Michael Pineda all hurt. Rosewich hangs on, and Nuno has his second strikeout. And with so many starting pitchers injured in the Bronx, Nuno was able to show enough here and there to kind of hang on to that rotation spot with New York for a while. And the Yankees trying to stay afloat in that AL East, which is really competitive this year. Maybe not great, but it's close. And so they needed pitching help. Ed Lucas.
One thing Nuno has working in his favor, he's a 4-pitch guy, actually 5 if you figure 2 different fastballs, and he'll use all of those pitches depending on the hitter and the situation of the game.
That one backs Prado up at third. Long throw, and he got him. A 1-2-3 third for El Nuno. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Coming up for the Diamondbacks, you'll see Goldie walk his first time up. Fans, beat the heat. Bring the family out and join us at Chase Field Sunday, July 20th. It's Star Wars Day, and you can join the D-backs as they take on the Cubs. First 5,000 kids in attendance get this back-to-school backpack. Go to dbacks.com for tickets. Aaron Hill leads off the third against Brad Hand. 1-0. Aaron struck out his first time. This is Brad Hand's second appearance since coming off the 15-day DL with a right ankle sprain suffered near the end of May. And he's getting another chance to win the 5th starter spot in the Marlins rotation after opening up the season as a long reliever. He got his first chance when Jacob Turner was on the DL earlier in the year and didn't pitch well. Failed to survive the 4th inning each time. Let's move back to the bullpen. That is bounced over the mound. Ed Lucas makes a terrific play to throw him out. One down in the third.
Oh, that's a real nice play by Ed Lucas, showing his range, showing his arm strength, throwing off balance with that jump toss across to Jeff Baker just in time to get Aaron Hill. That's a pretty impressive play right there.
It was. So one away for Brad Hand, and here is Paul Goldschmidt, who walked his first time. That's on a play, 0-1. Goldie with a 7-game hitting streak. He's hit safely in every game this month, batting .520 in July. Sky high, short right field. Lucas going out, Stanton coming in. It's Giancarlo for the second out.
Third baseman, Martin Prado.
Martin Prado will single his first time up tonight to extend his hit streak down to 8 games. He's hit in every game this month. All singles with the exception of last night's homer.
You got to believe Martin Prado is hoping that the Diamondbacks open the 2015 season in Atlanta next year.
So he'll be good from the go.
Yeah,
Can we call MLB and arrange that?
Yeah, I'll talk to Bud. We'll get that set up. Last year, in 75 games before the Diamondbacks went to Atlanta, he was a .241 hitter. In the 77 games after that, he hit .319. Of course, the Diamondbacks just returned from Atlanta on that last road trip, and he was 3 for 5 with a homer last night.
Well, last year he ended up being the player of the month for August in the National League. Smacks that into center field for a base hit. Prado 2 for 2.
It's the Atlanta effect.
I have to look into that.
4 for 6 now since we returned from Atlanta. It's a hard ground ball to Echeverria's left. Even with his range, he can't get there quick enough.
Well, here's Cody Ross, who last time up with men on second and third and 2 outs, swung at the first pitch he saw and grounded out to shortstop to end the inning in strand 2. Here's a strike, 0-1.
You know, not picking on Cody Ross, but I never understood why any hitter would swing at the first pitch when you're facing a pitcher for the first time. You've never seen the guy before. You have no idea of his release point, his arm angle, the movement on his pitches. I understand with runners in scoring position, you want to attack the first good pitch you see, but I think when you're facing a pitcher for the first time, you got to at least see one pitch.
Bounces one to shortstop again. They go the short way for the force on Prado, and that's the inning. No score through 3. We head to the 4th. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Giancarlo Stanton leads off the inning for the Marlins. Ball one to Giancarlo Stanton as we open up the fourth inning. Vidal Nuno has retired the last 5 he's faced. Stanton walked his first time up tonight. Lashes that right to Cody Ross in left. One away in the fourth.
Third baseman
Casey McGee lined out to right his first time up. Casey McGee leading the National League in hits. He's 3 ahead of the Mets' Daniel Murphy and 4 up on Paul Goldschmidt. And a pair of singles and a run scored last night. Riding a career high 14-game hitting streak and hitting .390 during that streak. Strike one. Marlins had a big hole at third base and no one to fill it, so they put up just over $1 million to get McGee from Japan, and boy has it worked out. Dan Jennings, the GM, said they really did their homework on McGee in Japan. Saw that he hired a nutritionist over there. That had been an issue for him in the past. This is in the air, short left center, and Ciarte coming in. 2 down in the fourth. All-star voting not quite over yet. Final player for each league's roster. You can vote until Thursday at 1 o'clock. Go to dbacks.com or vote on your mobile phone. Send the final All-Stars to Minnesota to play July 15th. Casey McGee, one of the 5 finalists, and deserves it, frankly. He's had a tremendous year.
53 runs driven in with only 1 home run on the season. I had to think for a long time to come up with another player that had similar numbers for the course of a season. Former Cardinals second baseman Tommy Herr, back in the 1985 season, drove in 110 runs with only 8 homers. Of course, he had a track team on base ahead of him
on that turf. It's out of play. Well, when the Marlins were looking at McGee in Japan, they saw that he was in better shape. But they also saw that he had changed his swing. He used to be a dead pull guy. There are no more turning or trying to pull everything. Now he's much more gap to gap. And he's got a swing that's geared more toward the middle of the field, and it's really worked out well. 1-2 on Marcell Ozuna, who flied out his first time.
And really, that was McGee's history with the Milwaukee Brewers. With runners in scoring position, you could almost book it. He was going to drive the ball to right center field because most teams just tried to stay away in those situations, and he was content to take those base hits to right and right center, and then for whatever reason got into that pull crazy mode and just became a completely different hitter.
With .292 last year in his 1 season in Japan, 28 homers and 93 RBIs. This is going to get down in the gap in left center. Ciarte cannot cut it off. It rolls to the wall, and Marcell Ozuna's on the run. He'll stop at second with his 12th double. Just the second hit tonight against Vidal Nuno.
You can see at the top of your screen there, Ender Ciarte shaded several steps over in the gap in right center, and Ozuna pulls it right back to the gap on the other side for extra bases.
And so Nuno, who had retired 7 in a row, will work to Jeff Baker with 2 outs and Ozuna on second. Baker doubled his first time up. He's got the other Marlins hit.
I didn't see a final for that World Cup game today. I assume Germany hung on.
25-1, yeah.
Jeff Baker has to be happy. He was born in Germany. Father was in the military, stationed over there. So I would assume he was rooting for Germany today.
They just opened up a can on Brazil. That was a shocker. 0-1 on Jeff Baker. Baker, born in Germany, went to high school in Virginia, played at Clemson. He's a Clemson Tiger. 4th round pick by the Rockies in 2002. His 10th year in the big leagues.
And besides his versatility, part of the reason he's been able to hang around for 10 years is his ability to hit left-handed pitching. A career .295 hitter against lefties. Only .235 against right-handers.
Nuno misses there. It's a ball and 2 strikes. And Jeff Baker, originally with Colorado, played there 5 years. But since August of 2012, not even 2 years, He's been with the Cubs, the Tigers, the Braves, the Rangers, and now the Marlins. Just fouled by third. Vidal Nuno so far 56 pitches, 37 for strikes. He's walked 1. He has struck out 2. Given up 2 hits. And he rings up Baker to win the 4th. Vidal Nuno, his 3rd strikeout. And he sends us to the home half. It's the D-backs and the Marlins. No score from Chase Field. One walk, 3 strikeouts, a couple of doubles. He has kept the Marlins off the scoreboard as we are set for the home half of the 4th inning. Down on the farm, big night last night in Reno. The Aces saw Mark Trumbo hit a grand slam in a rehab start. And Trevor Cahill's rehabilitation effort, if you will, continues. He walked 6 last night in 5 1/3.
And Mark Trumbo, for those who are interested, homered in his first at bat tonight for the Aces.
That's a good sign. You want to have him play a couple of games in a row, then get a day off, and then play a couple of more games in a row, get another day off, kind of ease him back into things with the idea of giving that stress fracture in the foot the chance to heal. They want him to run around as much as possible without overdoing it right out of the gate. Tuffy Gozawish reached on an error his first time up. Bounce to third. Casey McGee throws him out. It was McGee who was charged with the error the first time Tuffy was up there. Kind of a tough error.
Yeah, that was a tough error on McGee. That ball hit home plate. Tuffy's first at bat bounced high in the air. Gave Tuffy enough time to get down that line and leg it out for what we thought was an infield hit initially, but it was ruled an E5.
Gerardo Parra. Flied out to center his first time. Looks at strike 1 from Brad Hand. Parra hitting under 190 against left-hand pitching this year. He does have a home run versus a lefty. And David Peralta's red-hot bat not in the lineup tonight against the left-hander Hand. Check swing right back to the glove.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations. You know, I read that every day, but free tacos. You get free tacos when the D-backs score 6. Who gets anything for free anymore? Come on.
It was one of those fast food nights last night. You got the Papa John's and you got the Taco Bell.
Not at all. Smorgasbord of baseball.
Nick Ahmed singled his first time. Don't forget, with a home run, he also got the Jack in the Box.
Wow. It's 3 meals. You're
fast
set.
food trifecta. Fox Sports' Ken Rosenthal reported today Washington Nationals actively seeking young shortstops in trades. They have concerns about signing Ian Desmond, who has reportedly rejected a long-term deal from the Nationals worth perhaps as much as $98 million. He can become a free agent after next season, and so the Nats are making long-term plans, and that might include a search for a shortstop as Ahmed lines out to Yelich. Brad Hand works a 1-2-3-4, no score in downtown Phoenix.
Marlins scoreless here with the Coyotes first-round draft pick Brendan Perlini. Time for a little hockey talk here. First of all, congratulations, 12th overall pick. What's the last month of your life been like?
Oh, it's been crazy. It's been a really fun process this year going through the combine and the draft, and very excited to be a part of Arizona, and I like it so far, and I think it's all pretty cool here.
Yeah, with the guys that run that organization, Don Maloney, Dave Tippett, and Captain Shane Doan, you're in a pretty good situation, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've had a past of good teams, and like I said earlier, a great organization, and hopefully I can get in here pretty quick and help the guys. I'm just going to come in and try and work my hardest and make the team.
Interesting story to get to the Coyotes. You were born in England. Tell us about that.
Yeah, my dad, he played pro with Toronto Maple Leafs, and ended up in Europe after a pretty short career, and just kind of played around Europe. Ended up in England. I was born there and lived there until I was 12 years old, 11 years old. So it was all kind of cool living over there, and kind of gave me a international perspective to my game.
And we have to ask you throughout the first pitch night to tell us about your form.
I mean, it wasn't the best, but I was just trying to get it over the plate and threw a little bit high, but I think it was the workout that I put on a couple too much muscle on it.
Brett, you did a great job. Welcome to the Valley, and hope to see you soon out on the ice.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Guys,
the future is bright for the Yotes. Back up to you.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's always better to overthrow than underthrow.
I never understood why when we have hockey players throw out the first pitch, why don't they bring a stick and just lay the ball on the rubber, and slap shot it toward the catcher?
You got to get you in some of these marketing meetings.
Oh, man, I have to do everything.
Echeverria, center field in Ciarce. Del Nuno rolling along here. So far, he's given up 1 walk, only 2 hits. He has 3 strikeouts.
He's done a nice job of forcing the Marlins to hit the ball to the big part of the ballpark. Ender Inciarte's been extremely busy out there in center field tonight. All 3 outs in the first out in the second, another one in the fourth, and then one right there here in the fifth.
Well, Vidal Nuno, California native, 48th round pick by the Indians at 09. Cleveland released Nuno less than 2 years after they drafted him. And he wound up pitching for the independent Washington Wild Things in the Frontier League. Speaking of marketing genius, made 6 starts there. Yankees found him in the Frontier League, pitching independent ball. He spent most of 2012 pitching for their AA team in Trenton. And pitched well there, a 2.45 ERA in 20 starts. He strikes out a hand. And Vidal Nuno 5 scoreless to open up his D-backs career. D-backs fans, it's that time again, using with the Twitter and the hashtag and the whole thing. It's time for the AT fan photo. Don't forget, use the hashtag AZFanPhoto for your chance to have your photo shown in our game broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. So nice camera work there. We back the D-backs, the Venezuelan connection. Vidal Nuno leads off the fifth, bounces that to McGee, who juggles it, and Nuno's aboard. Tough night at third defensively for the National League's hits leader. And Nuno, who had never had a plate appearance at any level in professional ball, has so far laid down a nice sacrifice bunt and reached base safely. Sorta.
Casey McGee picked up that baseball and yelled at it like the baseball was at fault.
Well, the Marlins tonight have 3 errors, and McGee has 2 of them. Leadoff man aboard for Ender Inciarte.
Very aggressive Diamondbacks offense tonight. 14 of the 18 hitters so far have seen 3 or fewer pitches.
Ender bunts it by the mound, and he's going to reach safely. We saw it the other day. There it is again tonight. Ender Inciarte playing some small ball.
Takes over the team lead in bunt base hits. He was tied with Miguel Montero with 2 bunt base hits. Well, you get it by that pitcher, and with a lefty on the mound, hand falls off just a little bit to the third base side. That ball snuck by him. No play for Ed Lucas. Nicely done.
The 4th hit for the Diamondbacks. The first 2 have reached in the 5th against Brad Hand. He's only at 47 pitches, 33 for strikes. But the Diamondbacks threatening 2 on, nobody out. Aaron Hill, who's 0 for 2. And 3 for his last 33. Ball 1. Aaron Hill, a power outage as of late. He's got 1 home run in his last 33 games. And just 5 extra base hits over that span. And he's heard the trade deadline talk. He's read the newspapers. He knows the discussion that's going on surrounding Aaron Hill, possible deals out of Arizona. He says it's human nature to think about being linked to a possible trade, but if you can keep it to a minimum, that's going to help you out.
Really needs to get back in the strike zone. The last 2 pitches he swung at have been way out of the zone. A couple of change-ups off that outside corner.
50 pitches for Brad Hand, 35 for strikes, 1 and 2 on Aaron Hill. Brad Hand trying to hold on to a rotation spot in Miami. Mike Redmond says it's up to him how long he stays in this rotation. Base hit. Nuno being waved home by Glenn Sherlock. Aaron Hill has made it 1-0 D-backs.
On those mistakes, couple of change-ups off the plate away, and then Hand comes back and just floats a breaking ball right in the middle of the plate for Aaron Hill, who bangs it into left field for an RBI base hit.
Vidal Nuno comes all the way around. 1-0 Diamondbacks. 2 on, still nobody out, and here's Goldie.
And you mentioned it's been a little bit of a struggle for Aaron lately, but not so much with runners in scoring position. 14 for his last 38 with 19 runs driven in.
Goldie has walked and flied out 0 for 1. Double play ball here. Echeverria, Lucas, Baker, they roll it, and Ciarte into third, 2 outs.
Hey fans, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up at one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game.
You mentioned how aggressive the D-backs have been all night. There's Goldie up, 2 on, nobody out, swinging at the first pitch. Prado 2 for 2, a pair of singles. Two and 0. Three balls, no strikes. Cody Ross on deck. Four-pitch walk to Prado. 2 on, 2 out. Marado's been aboard all 3 times he's been up there tonight. Cody 0 for 2. He has twice grounded out to shortstop. Chance to get his bat in there against a left-hander. Cody's something of a right-hand specialist. He crushed left-hand pitching at a .391 clip last year, best in the major leagues. But that number versus lefties this season is .260. Cody 1 RBI shy of 500 for the career. And that RBI is standing at third base with 2 outs. Cody over his last 23 games, 9 of those starts hitting exactly .350. So the bat has been coming around. Bounce to second, Ed Lucas is there. Brad Hand strands 2, but the D-backs get 1 as Vidal Nuno comes all the way around. It's 1-0 Arizona.
We head to the top half of the 6th inning. Let's take a look at our top tier players of the game, brought to you by Arco. The 2 starting pitchers tonight. Brad Hand did not give up an earned run because of the Casey McGee error at third base. And El Nuno pitching a gem here in his Diamondbacks debut.
He has retired 11 of the last 12 he's faced. Misses there to Christian Yelich to lead off the 6th. He's also scored the game's only run.
It just goes to show you just never know in the game of baseball. You had a Verlander-Ryu matchup tonight. 14-5 final.
Ouch, babe.
You've got Brad Hand against El Nuno here at Chase Field, and it's 1-0 through 5 innings. Go figure. That's why we show up every night. You never know what you're going to see.
Well, Vidal Nuno, just a few years ago, pitching in the Frontier League independent ball, and did all right in the Yankees minor league system a couple of years ago after they found him. Pitched at high A and double A and led all Yankees minor leaguers in ERA and strikeouts. So he's got a pretty good minor league resume. Last year, just 5 starts with AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. 5 appearances with the Yankees, which was his first career action in the big leagues. But spent much of last year injured. And a very good spring training in Tampa. A 1.54 ERA in his first 4 AAA starts. Eventually called up to the majors in late April last year. Yelich shoots that the other way into left for a leadoff single. Just the 3rd hit against Vidal Nuno. Nuno pitched 4 games for the Yankees last May. Did all right at 2.65 ERA. But was sent back to AAA when Eddie Pettit returned from an injury. And then Nuno, as soon as he went down, suffered a groin injury and missed the rest of the year. So he was coming off a pretty significant injury last season. Ed Lucas. Oh, 1. Speaking of minor leagues, Ed Lucas spent 10 years in the minors. A decade. And then last year at the age of 31 finally broke into the big leagues. A 31-year-old rookie with 10 years in the minors. I'll keep a close eye on Yelich over there, who was 11 for 13 in his stolen base attempts this season. Lucas played just over 90 games with Miami last year. Hit .256 with 4 homers. Good utility guy for them. He had been the oldest player in the entire Marlins organization who had yet to play in the major leagues. By the time he made his big league debut at the end of May last year, he'd played 925 career minor league games and hit .278.
I have a lot of respect for guys like that. Either have a serious love for the game of baseball or have nothing else to do, but that's not the case with Lucas. He's an Ivy League graduate, so he has a lot of options.
Starting with college in beautiful Hanover, New Hampshire. Here comes Giancarlo Stanton.
Right fielder,
Three things you need to know about Giancarlo Stanton. I know this might be hard to believe, but he was offered a few football scholarships. Passed on offers from UCLA and UNLV after he was a 2nd-round pick by Miami in 2007 out of high school in Sherman Oaks, California.
He started his career as Mike Stanton. And that last bullet point hit, his first career homer was a grand slam with a borrowed bat. You get the feeling this guy could hit home runs with chair legs.
He was drafted in that 2nd round, just 2 spots ahead of Freddie Freeman, who was coming out of high school in nearby Orange, California. 2nd round in 07. Hitting .380 this year against left-hand pitching. And so Nuno will be very careful. Stanton walked his first time up, lined out to left, and his last at bat. Chase Anderson got him 3 times last night. Stanton 0 for 4 with 4 Ks, the golden sombrero. Two and 1.
Possibly got away with a high slider right there, belt high, middle of the plate. Big swing from Stanton, just a little tardy that time.
Well, he's been striking out a fair amount lately, 5th in the league now in strikeouts. Nuno misses there, 3-1. His teammate Marcell Ozuna 7th on the strikeout list in the National League. There's a strike. It's full, 3-2. What do you like here?
I like off speed myself, either a straight change up away or a breaking ball down low below the knees. Although Nuno's shown a lot of confidence in that fastball, even though it only sits in the high 80s, occasionally touching 90, he's not afraid to throw that pitch. Some kind of an off-speed delivery on the way. Another pick to first base instead. Sometimes a pitcher will have second thoughts after you shake your head. Yeah, I'll throw that pitch, and then you go into your set position. You go, wait a minute. I don't want to throw that pitch, but I'll just throw a pickoff move to first and make Tuffy give me another sign. There was another slider.
High in the air, right field. Long run for Parra, but playable. 2 down in the 6th. Let's take a look at Nuno versus Stanton.
Keeping the ball down, which is a good thing. Misses with that breaking ball low and away. Comes back with a changeup low and away. That was the danger slider, the one he left up there around the belt, but then throws a fastball right down the heart of the plate to run the count to full and got him to pop up that slider in the strike zone.
This is one you want to make sure you keep your foot on the gas. 2 outs. Casey McGee leading the league in hits. 80 pitches, 54 for strikes for Nuno. McGee jumps on the first one. Easy play in center for Ender Inciarte. And Vidal Nuno has kept the Marlins scoreless through 6. He leads it 1-0. Marlins 1-0, home half of the 6th coming up. Take a look at our Chevron upcoming matchup. No TV tomorrow. Matinee. Don't forget matinee ticket pricing. dbacks.com/tickets. Nate Eovaldi for the Marlins and Josh Comenter for the D-backs. Radio only tomorrow. Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. Tuffy Gozawish leads off the 6th.
Diamondbacks will face pitchers in back-to-back days that love their fastball. Eovaldi throws extremely hard.
1-1 on Tuffy Gozawish. 0 for 2 so far. His 13th start behind the plate this year. Started the D-backs win Sunday in Atlanta, went 0 for 4. And Tuffy spent most of yesterday hanging out with Vidal Nuno, getting to know each other, talking about what he likes to throw. So they try to create a comfort level between these two, setting it up for tonight.
I thought that was a real good idea to hold off a day as Tuffy bangs one into center field. Give Nuno an opportunity to kind of settle in, get used to his surroundings, get used to some of his teammates, a new coaching staff, new skipper, new environment, and spent the entire ball game sitting next to Tuffy talking about these Marlins hitters and what pitches do you like to throw in certain situations. What are some danger signs that I need to look for? And pitchers know, yeah, if I'm leaving my slider up and away to the righties, that means I'm not finishing my pitch. You very quickly get up to speed with the new guy on the mound.
Gerardo Parra 0 for 2. Chase Field, not a ballpark in which the Marlins have played very well historically. They are 21-37 all time in Phoenix. Dropped 2 of 3 here last year and lost last night's series opener. There's a strike, 1-1.
I think it's the lack of humidity. You leave South Florida, come out here to Arizona where it's a dry heat. You don't know how to act.
They're off their game. I'll take the dry heat every time.
Every day.
We had some last year that were rough. Down in St. Pete in August, Texas. Hot. And we're the only ballpark that has a pool. RamTrucks.com pool area. Good night to be out there. 1-2 on Gerardo Parra. Brad Hand, who's been very efficient, laboring a bit here. Mike Redmond would love for Hand to take this audition for the 5th starter spot and kind of run away with it. Make things a lot easier for the Marlins, he says. Misses there again, and it's 3-2. This is his 4th start this year, his 18th appearance, trying to get out of that bullpen. He's been a starter throughout his minor league career and would like to be a starter at this level. Parra shoots it the other way into left, a base hit. A pair of singles to lead off the D-backs 6th. FoxSportsArizona.com, all the online local sports coverage you won't find anywhere else. You can hang out at Fender Guitar headquarters with some of the Diamondbacks. You'll get post-game analysis and reaction from the Diamondback clubhouse. And the Suns have to work on a strategy now that Channing Frye is in Orlando Magic. Jack Magruder working hard for FoxSportsArizona.com. 2 on, nobody out. Nick Ahmed.
Update from Reno. Mark Trumbo now 2 for 2 in the ball game after homering in his first bat. He just got a lousy single his second bat.
It's going to be exciting to have him back.
Oh yeah.
Always that threat that he's going to launch one a million miles.
Just his presence in the lineup forces opposing managers, opposing pitchers and catchers to handle the lineup a little bit differently.
Nick Ahmed, a single and a fly out, 1 for 2. Marlins bullpen springs into action.
I believe that was right-hander Sam Dyson that's beginning to throw down there as the Diamondbacks are mounting an offensive here.
2-0 to Ahmed. There's a swing where you can see that Nick is a tall, lanky guy at 6'3", 205. Got a little jammed up there. 2-1 now. Working on those new swing mechanics, which he says helps you utilize some of that athleticism he's got. Something he's never really tapped into before, he says, but now it's showing up at the plate this year. And you can certainly see the difference in the numbers. He hit .236 at Mobile last year in AA. He was hitting .324 this year at AAA Reno, and he was called up. Two balls and 2 strikes. Struck him out. 1 down in the 6th.
Pitcher,
Glenn Sherlock verbally going down to tell the Diamondbacks' newest pitcher exactly what he wants him to do in this situation. You would expect him to try to put down another sacrifice bunt. He did so successfully in the 2nd inning.
He's got Tuffy Gozuish, the runner at 2nd. Gerardo Parra at 1st, and 1 out. Parra checking with Dave McKay down there. Baker creeping in on the grass at 1st. Nuno gets another one down. Boy, making it look easy.
He really is.
That's been an issue for Diamondbacks pitchers this year, just getting bunts down in fairly routine circumstances. But Nuno, so far, has done a wonderful job.
I mean, that's just the way you draw it up. You want to force the third baseman to field the ball. With a left-handed throwing pitcher, you have to make sure to get it by the pitcher. And that's exactly what Nuno does. Bunts it hard to third base, forcing Casey McGee to come in and make the play, allowing 2 Diamondbacks to move into scoring position, and fist bumps and high fives from his teammates.
2nd and 3rd, 2 outs for Ender Inciarte. He dropped down a gorgeous bunt himself his last time up for a bunt single. Laces that to right, but right at Stanton. And once again, the Diamondbacks strand 2 through 6. They lead it 1-0. Debut of El Nuno. Vidal Nuno, he is our APS Energy All-Star so far. Just 3 hits, 1 walk. He has struck out 5.
He's been very effective tonight. He snuck that fastball in there on some of the Marlins hitters when they least expected it. He's changed speeds well. He's used all 4 of his pitches, as I mentioned earlier. His command has been good.
A lot of fly ball outs.
Yeah, 10 fly ball outs in the game, 7 of them to center field. Only 3 ground balls to go along with 5 strikeouts. Not always a recipe for success here at Chase Field, but Nuno's been able to pitch to weak contact and get some lazy fly balls here tonight.
Marcell Ozuna doubled his last time up. First pitch swinging. There's another fly ball out. Parra in front of the track in right. One away in the 7th. Nuno at 82 pitches, 56 for strikes, rolling along here.
First baseman Jeff Baker.
Jeff Baker has one of the 3 Marlins hits, a double back in the 2nd. He's 1 for 2. Struck out his last time up. Nuno working into the 7th. He has completed at least 6 innings only 5 times in 14 starts this year. He's been over 100 pitches only 3 times this season. His high for the year is 107. That was 3 starts ago in a loss to the Baltimore Orioles. This is their 2-1. Sanderson Ford bullpen for the Diamondbacks. Oliver Perez, the left-hander. Evan Marshall, the right-hander. This will get into the seats. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Called strike 3, 6 strikeouts for El Nino. 2 down in the 7th.
Occasionally strikeouts come because you're just overpowering with your stuff, but for tonight with Nuno, it's been his command, dropping that slider on the outside corner to Jeff Baker. Seen him throw that changeup down around the knees. We've seen him throw high fastballs by some pretty good fastball hitters. Real good command tonight.
Jared Santalamacchia 0 for 2. That is allowed. Strike 1.
Strike 1.
Caught it on the phone.
Multitasking.
0-2. About to throw his 90th pitch.
Right where Tuffy wanted it. Called for that changeup on the 0-2 pitch. Tuffy banged his glove in the dirt a couple of times to remind Nuno, keep it down, and he bounced it up there exactly where they wanted it.
Elevates with a fastball. Santalamacchia chases, and Vidal Nuno has 7 strikeouts through 7 scoreless. CenturyLink, your link to us next. Former Marlins great Joe Borowski joins us in the booth. 7 scoreless innings of 3-hit ball. He has walked 1. He's got a career high 7 strikeouts. Joe Borowski, your thoughts?
Impressive. I thought what he did real good was his fastball. When he elevated it, he was elevating it just enough. He was moving in and out, but I was real impressed with his slider. I thought he did a great job of moving it to both sides of the plate, and he mixed in his changeup real good.
And a lot of fly ball outs. You wonder if some of his issues in New York may have been pitching in that ballpark with that short right field.
Yeah, I know. I never had a good experience pitching in Yankee Stadium, so sure that could have a lot to do with it. But I thought he just did a good job of just mixing his pitches real well. He didn't stay in any set pattern, and I think his slider was definitely the key for him tonight.
It looks like they might get him out of here and end on a good note, even though the pitch count is relatively low. The bullpen has been busy. We'll see if he comes back out for the 8th inning. Aaron Hill leads off the Diamondbacks 7th. Hill, Goldie, Prado 2, 3, and 4. Need some insurance runs though. The downside tonight, Diamondbacks have a lot of chances to make this a much bigger lead. They've left a lot of men on base tonight so far in 9.
Yeah, they definitely have their opportunities, but Nuno's counterpart Hand is throwing an excellent game tonight as well, and this is one of those games that's going to come down to whose bullpen is stronger and can finish this game out.
I think the 2 starting pitchers contrast in styles. Nuno's had great command of all of his pitches tonight. Hand not so much, but he's been able to make big pitches with traffic on the bases when he's needed it the most.
And this is a kid that's fighting to keep a spot in the rotation. He's wanted to be a starter, has been a starter throughout his minor league career. He's getting a look here and pitched pretty well so far.
Well, there's definitely a lot to like about him. He throws 93 to 95. He's got good sink on his fastball.
And he was a 2nd-round pick by the Marlins in 2008. It's not like they found him in the Frontier League like Nuno. This is a guy who was a high draft pick out of high school in Chaska, Minnesota, where the season is about a week and a half long. They don't get a lot of opportunities up there. Aaron Hill laces that one to left, but Yelich is there.
You just have to play double headers every day.
Did you play a lot in Bayonne? How was the high school season up there?
I remember you were lucky if you were playing steadily by mid-May to the end of May. I remember a week getting snowed out from like May 8th to May 14th. We had like three storms in those days, and it was hit or miss. You never knew.
A lot of indoor workouts in the gym, throwing off those plastic mounds and hitting in the cages.
That's how they found Patrick Corbin up in Clay, New York, showing up at baseball tryouts one winter, pitching on those indoor mounds in the gym.
And it's great to throw indoors because it seems like you're throwing a million.
The acoustics are
great sound.
Wow, that guy throws hard.
Oh yeah.
1-1 to Goldie. 0 for 2 with a walk.
It's funny we laugh about that, but I've warmed up relief pitchers before that have asked me. Catchers usually take a new mitt down to the bullpen to kind of break it in down there before they use it in a game. And it doesn't make the same resounding crack when you catch a fastball in a brand new mitt. So I had guys ask me, go get your other glove. I want to sound faster.
Psych themselves out. Yeah. Goldie's got a 7-game hit streak on the line tonight. The challenges of playing high school baseball in the Northeast or the Midwest. Going to take the most of your opportunities, and Brad Hand must have done that as a 2nd-round pick out of high school. Goldie hammers that one down the left field line. That'll roll the bullpen wall, and Goldschmidt takes the turn and heads for second. Paul Goldschmidt, his major league leading 34th double. And he's hit in every game this month.
Well, we know Paul Goldschmidt is dangerous because he hits the ball all over the ballpark with power, but it's good to see him pulling some balls. I think he finally has gotten to the point where he's frustrated with pitchers working him away, and he wants to punish them when they come inside.
Well, in the bottom of the 7th, a big chance to pick up an insurance run, and here comes Mike Redmond, and you know what time it is? It's time to talk to the hand. I was handed that card by a highly unreliable member of our staff up here.
On and on.
Decided to give the kid a break and say it on the air. And now we'll have to shut this thing down and reevaluate. D-backs lead the Marlins 1-0. It's time for our AT&T fan photo. Who actually picked this one today?
We're drafting Jeff Munn into the process as well. Jeff felt bad he wasn't included, so
no telling where this one could go.
This one's on money.
That's John.
With every giveaway here at Chase Field over the last 5 years.
That's a pretty good photo.
Luchador mask, got the Baxter mask, all the bobbleheads. Nice going, money.
So nice going, John. Thanks for submitting your fan photo, brought to us by AT&T. So Jeff Munn is on the board. New pitcher for the Marlins. This is Sam Dyson. Recalled from AAA New Orleans at the end of June, his second stint with the Marlins this year. He has made only 9 career major league appearances. Does not have an ERA this season. He's worked 5 innings.
Last pitched on the 5th against St. Louis, went 2 innings in that ball game, struck out 3, otherwise zeros across the board for the Marlins right-hander.
Martin Prado has reached all 3 times he's been up there tonight. 2 singles and a walk. Goldie at second, 1 down.
Oh my.
Right off the ground and right back up in the face of Martin Prado. Knocked off the helmet. Looks to be okay.
Look at the sink on that ball.
Wow. We're very lucky that ball caught underneath the bill of the helmet right there rather than full on the forehead. Well, that's the last thing you expect as a hitter. I mean, of all the things that could happen when you swing the bat, you don't expect to foul it straight down and back up into your own face.
Pops the off-speed pitch in there, and quickly it's 0-2. Missed away, a ball and 2 strikes. Big insurance run standing at second base here in a 1-run game in the 7th. This does get a piece at 97. Diamondbacks 1 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. A run in the 5th on Aaron Hill's RBI single, the only run of the ball game so far. D-backs have out hit Miami 8-3.
Which was probably up out of the strike zone right there, but as a hitter, your eyes light up when you see a high breaking pitch. You recognize it real quickly because it is up, Saw it up there, shoulder level, took a hack at it.
Coach Harbaugh is up there with the dad pants on again. Those khakis, not a wrinkle in them. Got the Diamondback cap going. I don't see the glove tonight, though. 1-2 on Prado. And there's the strikeout. Tom Candiotti is an insufferable 49er fan. And he was all geared up because he got to talk to Coach Harbaugh earlier, who's here as a guest of Tony La Russa. Cody Ross will take the at-bat here against the right-hander with 2 outs and Goldie on second. And Lucas. And they strand the runner. Joe, we'll see you after the ball game.
All right, guys.
Holding on to a 1-0 lead over the Marlins. Don't forget, fans, Major League Baseball All-Star Game, July 15th. Baseball's best gather at Target Field in Minneapolis. That includes Paul Goldschmidt, the National League's All-Star starter at first base. Promises to be a memorable day of baseball. Special coverage begins 1:30 on Fox Sports 1. Then the game at 4:30. The 2014 All-Star Game, July 15th. Only on Fox. 47th appearance of the year for Brad Ziegler, trying to lock this thing down for Vidal Nuno, who was terrific in his D-backs debut.
Boy, it really was. Only 1 base on balls in the 7 innings that Nuno worked tonight, and that came to Giancarlo Stanton back in the first inning with 2 outs and nobody on. He clearly was pitching around Stanton, trying to get him to chase something. He didn't. Took the walk and then quickly got the 3rd out of the inning.
Danny Echeverria will lead it off. You saw David Peralta in there in left field for Cody Ross, although Ross took the at-bat to end the inning. And Peralta's on as a defensive replacement now to start the top of the 8th. Echeverria 0 for 2. Just does get a piece of it to stay alive.
This is Brad Ziegler's 268th appearance since the beginning of the 2011 season, the most in the major leagues. I mean, it's one thing to say a guy's a workhorse, but to be as reliable a workhorse as Brad Ziegler has been, that's remarkable.
And there's a case in point. Nick Ahmed charges. Big arm over there, but Echeverria with good speed beats it out. Yeah, he's as close to a sure thing as there is in this one. That one was hit very slowly to short. Tough play for Ahmed.
Yeah, Nick did everything he could possibly do. Got to the ball as quickly as he could. Threw on the run, but Echeverria just flying down that first baseline. It's not even close.
Just the 4th hit for the Marlins, tying run aboard to lead off the game. And now we'll see if Ziegler can work some of his double play magic. Reed Johnson steps in. He'll hit for the pitcher. .259 on the year, but Johnson, the veteran, batting .324 as a pinch hitter this season. He's got 11 hits and 34 pinch hit at bats, including 9 RBIs. So he's been a very productive bat in this spot for Mike Redmond. There it is. 1, 6, 3. They roll it. Nick Ahmed, with that momentum going, steps in front of Aaron Hill, and they turn 2. Let's make that our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. Here comes Nick Ahmed.
Well, all's well that ends well, but some obvious miscommunication there up the middle as to who was supposed to cover the bag. It looked to me like Aaron Hill was responsible on a ball hit back to the mound. Brad Ziegler does the right thing. Get the ground ball, throw it over the base at second, let the 2 middle infielders figure it out. And that time Nick Ahmed had a nice angle cutting across the bag and took it away from Aaron Hill. The 87th double play induced by Brad Ziegler since '08.
Christian Yelich 1 for 3. A single his last time up. Now 2 down in the inning. There's a strike. 1-1. Ahmed was really moving. He might have run Aaron Hill over had they collided. He has got a big time arm. Nick Ahmed was a terrific high school pitcher in Western Massachusetts before he went to UConn. Bounce to first. Goldie will take it. Couple of ground balls produce 3 outs for Brad Ziegler, and it stays 1-0 D-backs. Two ground balls, getting 3 outs. This is all the offense. Diamondbacks got their run in the 5th. Vidal Nuno reached on an error by Casey McGee at 3rd. Ender Inciarte bunted for a base hit. Then Aaron Hill the RBI single. And that's been all the offense tonight. And the Diamondbacks behind Nuno and now Ziegler have made that 1-0 lead stand up. It's our Subway in-game box score.
Leading off for the D-backs, catcher, Tuffy Gozoe.
And now here we are in the home half of the 8th. New pitcher on for the Marlins is the right-hander Brian Morris. He has not allowed an earned run in 15 games since he joined the Marlins.
Another guy that throws a lot of fastballs, both a four-seamer and a cutter. The four-seamer averaging right at 95 miles per hour this season.
He was acquired from Pittsburgh on June the 1st in exchange for a draft pick. A competitive balance pick. That's not something you hear a lot. 96 miles an hour to Tuffy for strike one. Tuffy goes a wish. 1 for 3, a single his last time up. Goes a wish. Para Ahmed 6, 7, and 8 in the Diamondbacks' 8th. Tuffy shoots it down the right field line. That's a fair ball. Goes a wish is on the run. He'll head for second. Stanton fishes it out of the corner, and Tuffy goes a wish has his second double. And there's a big insurance run with nobody out in the 8th.
Second hit of the game for Tuffy, who could very easily have 3. He hit that high chopper to third base that McGee couldn't handle. Could have easily gone as an infield hit, but this time stays on that cutter away and lines it down the right field line. Nice going.
And now the job is to get that run home from second and give Addison Reed some insurance. Arano Parra singled his last time up, 1 for 3.
Move him. Got a job here. Try to hit that ball to the right side of the infield, preferably through the right side of the infield.
In the air to center, Marcell Ozuna at the track. Tuffy tags and heads for third. Well, that was a little sexier than a routine ground ball to second, and it got the job done.
That'll work.
Fans watch Goldie represent the D-backs at the All-Star Game July 15th on Fox, and then buy tickets to the July 19th game against the Cubs. First 20,000 fans get the Goldie All-Star t-shirt. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. So Tuffy goes a wish, the runner at third. One away, Nick Ahmed. Nick singled in the second. He's 1 for 3. Pitcher spot is due up next. There is no one in the on-deck circle for the D-backs.
I would guess it's David Peralta who came in defensively in the top half of the inning. I don't know. Maybe they didn't make a double switch.
No, they didn't. Here comes Roger Kieschnick. Yeah, he went in. That's a straight change, it looks like, for Cody Ross defensively. So, yeah, Peralta still batting in the 5th spot. Pitcher spot is still 9th, and Kieschnick is on deck. Marlins infield and on the grass. 1-0 to Ahmed. He did not go. Jonathan Payne down at first, 2-0. This guy throws hard. 27-year-old right-hander. 21 games with the Pirates this year. Went 4-0 with an ERA just under 4. And hold up there. It's 2-2. Diamondbacks have stranded 10 tonight. Goes a wish 90 feet away with 1 out. Here's the 2-2. High chopper. McGee somehow leaps up and gets it. and keeps Gozawish at third. Well, Casey McGee, who's had 2 errors down there at third, makes a big defensive play right there.
Well, that looked like that was going to get over his head. He's playing about a step in front of the base, has to go up the ladder to make that catch. Fire across for the out on Nick Ahmed. Play right there in front of Tuffy. Had to wait, make sure that ball got through with the infield playing in. I always like to watch the reaction of the infielders behind the guy making the play. You can see Echeverria jump at the same time Casey McGee did, trying to help his teammate.
Well, Roger Kieschnick has been announced as the D-backs pinch hitter, the left-hand hitter. So Mike Redmond will make a move, and we'll be back after this. Manager waited until the left-hand hitting Roger Kieschnick was announced as the D-backs pinch hitter, and that's when the Marlins skipper made his move together with his bullpen. He brings in his left-hander. This is Mike Dunn. 27 of his last 30 appearances have been scoreless, so he's in there. Now Kirk Gibson has countered. He's recalled Kieschnick, and he'll send up the right-hand hitting Nick Evans to face Dunn.
Not a 2-pitch guy, fastball slider, pretty evenly mixed. He throws a lot of sliders. Over 40% of the time he'll use that breaking pitch.
So here's Nick Evans with Tuffy Gozawish, a big insurance run at third. 2 outs in the 8th and a 1-0 ball game. Evans 2 hits in 16 at bats this year, both big ones. A home run at Coors Field the first week of June. The pinch hit RBI double that provided a 9th inning run in a win in Atlanta on Sunday. So a similar spot here for Nick, and he looks at strike one. Nick Evans 1 for 6 as a pinch hitter this year. Anderson Ford bullpen. Addison Reed is ready. Diamondbacks with a chance to make it a 2-0 lead. There's a strike, 1-2. He strikes out Evans, and the Marlins strand the leadoff double by Tuffy Gozawish, and we go to the 9th. Here comes Addison Reed with a 1-0 lead. the ninth. This is Addison Reed, 20 for 24 in save situations. Our Gila River game summary. Here's all you need to know. The last time a team won 1-0 in a game in which the only run was scored by the starting pitcher. April 5th, 2011, Milwaukee beat Atlanta 1-0. Yvonne Gallardo scored the only run. Here tonight, it's Fidel Nuno. In his Diamondback debut, he was terrific. And now the bullpen trying to get him the victory. Addison Reed will face Ed Lucas, Giancarlo Stanton, and Casey McGee, 2, 3, and 4 in the Miami ninth.
"20 saves for Addison Reed, rank him 8th in the National League. 20 out of 24, as you mentioned, in save opportunities this season. Big time strike thrower. No soft landing this time. He's going to have to work his way right through the middle of the Marlins order.
This is going to be a high wire act. You've got 3 good hitters up here. Lucas 0 for 3, but he can be a pain in the neck. You got the league leader in homers and RBIs behind him, and then the league leader in hits behind Stanton. This is there. 1-0. Giancarlo on deck. He has walked and flied out twice.
Oh, by the way, before we get much deeper into this ninth inning, Mark Trumbo with his 3rd hit of the game in Reno. 2 singles and a home run.
That is great news. Had a grand slam last night with the Aces. A ball and a strike to Ed Lucas. This is inside. It's 3-1. We last saw Addison Reed Sunday in Atlanta when he got save number 20. Gave up a leadoff single, then got a strikeout and a double play ball to nail down the save. Wade Miley got the win. It's full, 3-2. Lucas 0 for 1 last night. That snapped a 7-game hitting streak. Leadoff walk. Tying runs aboard. And here comes Giancarlo Stanton.
Right fielder Giancarlo Stanton.
Walked in the first, lined out to left in the fourth, flied out to right his last time up. 3rd of the majors in go-ahead RBIs this year. 0 for 4 last night with 4 strikeouts, still hitless in the series.
Addison Reed coming over from the White Sox in the American League. Very limited looks for anybody on this Marlins roster. Nobody has more than 1 career at bat against Addison Reed.
Addison jumps ahead 0-2.
That crossfire delivery right to the outside corner at the knees. Nearly an unhittable fastball.
That location will work every time. And down there again. Purposely throw that pitch maybe just a hair more outside, hoping that you'll get him in chase because you got the call the previous pitch.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you try to expand the strike zone. Perfect example here. Strike 1 caught quite a bit of the plate. Strike 2 was right on the corner, and the 3rd delivery was just off of the outside corner. Trying to lead him out of the zone. Going out there again.
Popped him up. We'll see if Tuffy has room. It's out of play.
And that has occasionally been the issue with Addison Reed. 3 perfectly placed fastballs and tried to come back with the slider in the same location. Look where it ends up. Oh, man.
That could have been ugly. Yes. He's still alive, says John Tempe.
Oh, that was close. Good command of the fastball tonight for Addison Reed, just pounding away at that outside corner. Oh, man, I don't know.
Tram can't believe it. Stanton still alive, 2-2. Got him.
Four strikeouts last night for Giancarlo Stanton. A walk, a line drive to left, a fly ball to right, and another strikeout here tonight.
Great location.
Keep him quiet for one more day.
A big out number 1, Casey McGee, the National League hits leader, 0 for 3. McGee has got a career high 14-game hitting streak on the line right here. Out of play, 0-1.
3 previous at bats, 3 fly balls to Ender Inciarte in center field. Diamondbacks outfield playing extremely deep right now, and then no doubles defense. This is usually where Casey McGee, when he's at his best, will try to shoot that hole in the right side of the infield. Goldie holding on the runner over there. Aaron Hill shading up the middle of the field. There's a ginormous opening on that right side of the infield.
Center field, Inciarte tracks it down. 2 down. Marcell Ozuna. A double in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. He's got a 14-game hitting streak. Addison Reed trying to nail this one down for Vidal Nuno. Eric Jones, the left-hand hitter, is in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Baker. There's a strike, 2-1. A strike away.
Stick with the fastball. That's the pitch he has the most command of tonight. The pitch he has the most confidence in. The slider can be a real good weapon, but we've seen him make some mistakes with it, and this is not the time to make a mistake. Stick with the fastball.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here it is. Well hit center field. Ender Inciarte. And that ball is gone, a home run. Marcell Ozuna, his 15th, and it's 2-1 Miami.
Well, there was the fastball, but Ozuna got all over that one.
That was a missile.
Yeah, Tuffy was set up on that outside corner. The pitch was on the inner third of the plate, and Ozuna, we talked about it throughout this series, just a free swinger, just looking to get the barrel on the ball and hit it up into the camera well in center field.
6th home run allowed by Addison Reed. And now Garrett Jones will hit. In place of Baker, there's the strike, 0-1. High in the air, left field, Peralta. That'll end the inning, but Addison Reed gives up his 9th home run of the season, his 6th in a save situation. Marcell Ozuna has made it 2-1 Marlins.
Run homer, take a 1-run lead here in the 9th inning. You see where Tuffy goes, which moves out on that outside corner. Addison Reed had just been pounding away at that corner with his fastball. This one, however, strays over that inside part of the plate. Ozuna did not miss it. Boy, we've heard this song before way too many times this season. ERA over 4, 17 appearances this season, allowing at least 1 run, most among major league relievers, and 11 save opportunities where he allowed a run, but still managed to come away with the save, most in the majors.
That slider, which was his wipeout put-away pitch during his tenure with the Chicago White Sox, just has not been there this season as a D-back.
At least not with any consistency. We've seen glimpses where it's been really good in one game, and then he'll come back the next day and it's just not there for him. And at the major league level, when you become a one-pitch pitcher, it's a tough way to get by.
So now the Marlins turn to their closer in the 9th inning. This is Steve Cishek. 19 of 21 save opportunities converted this year. A 3.13 ERA. He'll work to the top of the order. It's Ender Inciarte who leads off the ninth. Ender 1 for 4, a single in the fifth. One single just past the mound. Another bunt base hit. Squares and takes a strike. 0-1.
Cishek out of the Brad Ziegler school of relief pitching with that sidearm submarine delivery.
He is fourth all time in Marlins history with 71 saves. He's ahead 0-2. In fact, since last year, he has converted 93% of his saves. He is 53 for 57, the third best mark in baseball over that span. Eric Jones, who ended the top of the ninth pitch hitting for Baker, will take over at first for Baker. Diamondbacks need a base runner. Montelamakia hangs on, and Inciarte strikes out. 1 down.
Boy, don't let that submarine delivery fool you. Cishek throws hard. Low to mid 90s consistently with that sinking, tailing fastball.
Aaron Hill. Once again, Cishek jumps ahead. 0-1. Aaron Hill, an RBI single in the fifth, 1 for 4.
Not only an unorthodox delivery with good velocity, but so far good command for Cishek.
This is their 2-2. Casey McGee at third. 2 down. Here's Goldie. He walked in the first. He doubled his last time up. 1 for 3. Fingers crossed. Holding an 8-game hitting streak. He has hit safely in every game this month.
Looks like another one of those at bats. Cishek, who's been just dotting the corners of the plate with both his slider and his fastball, pulls 2 of them over in the left-handed batter's box here against Goldie.
3-0.
Come on, rally hats.
Well hit, right field. Stanton in front of the wall, and that's it. It dies on the track, and the Marlins come back with 2 in the ninth and win it 2-1. Diamondbacks have now lost 25 games that they had the lead in. That is tied for the most of the major leagues with the Mets and the Rangers. And this one hurt because Vidal Nuno in his D-backs debut was really, really good.
Yeah, he was. It's a shame that it all went for naught. Boy, there's no worse punch in the gut for a baseball team than to battle in a tight, close game. Get just enough runs you think you can win a ball game, and then have the bullpen, or in this case the closer, give it up late. Those really hurt.
Well, Addison Reed was a strike away from saving a 1-0 ball game. Instead, he gives up his 9th home run of the year, his 6th in a save situation. Marcell Ozuna, a 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run homer in the 9th. And the Marlins win it 2-1. Diamondbacks Live is underway. Let's go out to center field. Joe is with Jody. Guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Stephen, Bob, Jody Jackson, Joe Borowski, getting set for our post-game show. Real heartbreaker, Joe. Obviously, I know, again, as the former closer, you've been in that situation before. The margin for error is so small in that situation.
The life of the closer, it's not fun at times, and unfortunately lost in all this is the unbelievable job that Nuno did. So we're going to break down both how the Diamondbacks let this slip away and the outstanding debut of Vidal Nuno.
Yeah, Vidal Nuno not only held the Marlins scoreless for 7 innings, but he scored the Diamondbacks' only run tonight. But unfortunately, this one ends in the loss column. Addison Reed blows the save. The Marlins win 2-1. Post-game show coming your way next here on Fox Sports Arizona.